Michael Olise announced himself to the world in the last couple of seasons, starting with a sensational volley in September 2020 for Reading in the Championship. His performances for Reading, which earned him a move to Crystal Palace, which showcased Olise's talent and put him on the radar of some of the biggest teams in Europe. Olise is brilliant and is like a magician with the ball, cutting and weaving through defenders like they just aren't there. However, the French forward is much more than dribbles. He's incredibly creative and can score goals too. With his talent, it's clear that Olise will be an asset to any team he joins. So it wasn't surprising that Bayern signed him for £44.6 million after Xabi Alonso's Bayer Leverkusen remarkably ended Munich's 11-year dominance of the Bundesliga in the 23-24 season. This fee for Olise sounds like a good deal for both sides, but could prove to be a bargain for the German giants. Signing the Frenchman became Bayern's priority, with their wingers Kingsley Coman and Serge Gnabry both having a less than stellar last season. Gnabry is still struggling to return to his best form, and Coman is looking away from Bayern, and Bayern themselves are willing to sell him. Bayern fought with everything to sign Olise, with Palace who somehow managed to keep him in the last few transfer windows. But now, with Olise's injury issues being less pertinent, Bayern have warded off Chelsea and Manchester United's interest. But the deal was stalled as they worked out some fine-tuned details with Crystal Palace. The London club wanted to include a sell-on clause in the agreement and had their way as Bayern were clearly desperate for Olise's signature. So, why are Bayern desperate for Olise? Well, he has some incredible qualities that may have reminded them of another Frenchman that they signed who became a legend for them. Olise reminds Bayern of Franck Ribéry, who joined Bayern in 2007 for what was then a club record fee of €25 million. Seems like a bargain now, right? Ribéry joined Bayern from Marseille as their best player, much like Olise is with his transfer from Crystal Palace. When Ribéry joined, the expectation was high on him to perform, not only because of the transfer fee, but also due to him replacing Bayern Munich legend Mehmet Scholl. Ribéry inherited Scholl's number 7 and the responsibility that came with it. The winger immediately made his mark at Bayern and spent 12 years with them, winning 24 titles in the process. His trophy haul includes 9 Bundesliga titles, 6 DFB Pokal, a UEFA Champions League, and a FIFA Club World Cup. Ribéry was on another level for Bayern in the 2012-13 season. His 11 goals and 23 assists helped them win a treble and got him nominated alongside Messi and Ronaldo as part of the 3-man shortlist for the 2013 FIFA Ballon d'Or, with many saying he was actually robbed not to win it. Check out our video on the channel on this. This is the man Olise is replacing, and he is ready to take on the responsibility. I want to prove myself at this level and play my part in ensuring that we win as many titles as possible in the coming years, Olise said. The French forward has been bearing enormous responsibilities all his life. The left-footed French forward was born on 12th of December 2001 in London and was raised in Hayes near Heathrow. Olise began his footballing career when he was 6, joining local club Hayes and Reading before making a switch to Arsenal's academy. When he was 7, Olise left Arsenal's academy for Chelsea's and spent 7 years with them before leaving for Manchester City when he was 14. However, Olise only spent a year at City before moving on to Reading and getting introduced into their academy scholarship programme in 2018. He then played for their under-18s and under-21s before making his debut in senior professional football as a 17-year-old. Olise signed a professional contract in the summer of the 2020-21 season and began with a bang. He scored 7 goals and provided 12 assists and earned the EFL Young Player of the Season award in the process. After his electric 2020-21 season, his move from Reading became inevitable. Premier League clubs had taken note of his talent and wanted to sign the promising young player. However, Crystal Palace beat everyone else to his signature as they triggered his £8.37 million release clause. Olise would miss the first 3 games as he wasn't in the squad, but he eventually debuted for his new team as a substitute on the 11th of September 2021 when he came on for the veteran Jordan Ayew. Palace continued to ease him into their squad as he played a few minutes in his next game against Liverpool. There was little Olise could do with those minutes, but he bided his time. He continued his search for his debut goal, but it was always going to come, and eventually it did against Leicester City in October of 2021. In that game, Olise came in as a substitute in the 53rd minute, and it took him only 8 minutes to put Palace ahead in the game with a sensational left-foot shot. However, Palace eventually drew the match as Leicester City's Jeffrey Schlupp scored to bring the game level later on. That goal earned him the record of Palace's youngest Premier League scorer since Clinton Morrison way back in 1998. Olise grabbed his first assist of the season when he came on against Arsenal on the 18th of October 2021. His assist helped Palace go ahead in the game before Alexander Lacazette brought the game level 5 minutes into extra time. With his incredible performances, Olise made a strong case for a start and got it on the 23rd of October in a draw against Newcastle United. The dynamic French forward then established himself as a key player for the squad. He was important in their FA Cup run, scoring twice with his first FA Cup goal for Palace coming against Millwall. Apart from his goal, Olise also made 3 assists, with his first being against Millwall as well. His last assist in the 21-22 FA Cup came during Palace's 4-0 win against Everton. Unfortunately, Palace couldn't get past Chelsea in the semi-finals of the competition as they lost 2-0. The Frenchman ended that season on an impressive note for Palace, scoring 4 goals and producing 8 assists in his 31 appearances across the Premier League and FA Cup. Olise continued his fine form for Palace in the 22-23 season, and just like the season before, he provided more assists than goals. He ended the season with 2 goals and 11 assists in the Premier League. Fans will not forget his hat-trick of assists coming against Leeds in a thrilling 5-1 Crystal Palace victory on the 9th of April 2023. This feat made him the youngest player to make 3 assists from open play in a single Premier League match. His performance in that game was simply sensational. And then Olise seemed positioned for a bigger move with that performance, and Chelsea were lurking. They'd agreed personal terms with him and activated the winger's £35 million release clause. Crystal Palace were furious with how Chelsea approached Olise, and in a dramatic turn of events, Olise decided to stay at Palace and even signed a new deal that raised his release clause. But it didn't end at that. Palace actually threatened a legal move against Chelsea, but they didn't proceed with it as Chelsea ultimately decided not to sign Olise, going ahead and signing Cole Palmer instead. Not a bad call, eh? The dynamic left-footed Frenchman was ready for the 23-24 season, but unfortunately he suffered a hamstring injury before the season began, which kept him out till November the 11th of 23. He scored his first goal of the season on November the 25th and showed that he'd put his hamstring injuries behind him. But unfortunately, his hamstring wasn't quite done with him yet. After a couple more incredible performances, Olise suffered another hamstring setback in February, which kept him out until April. Still, despite this, Olise scored 10 goals and had 6 assists in just 19 appearances, so no wonder Bayern couldn't stay away and made sure they got his signature. Now Bayern have finally gotten their man and a potential heir to Ribéry. Ribéry was fast, tricky, and an excellent dribbler who had great control with the ball at his feet. He loved to play on the left side of the midfield despite being predominantly right-footed. Playing on the wing opposite his foot allows Ribéry to use his speed and incredible ball control to cut inside, which dribble opponents, exploit spaces, and either then shooting with his stronger foot or provide an assist or create a chance or a pass. Ribéry was so versatile for Bayern. Now, while he mostly played left wing for them, he also played a few matches as an attacking midfielder and as a second striker. With his immense technical ability, Ribéry helped Bayern through a period of complete and total dominance, both domestically in Germany and in Europe, as they went on to win the treble. So the responsibility is on Olise to do the same, and with how Bayern seemed to lose that X factor last season, Olise could help bring it back. The left-footed winger loves to operate from the right wing, as he could use his acceleration and ability to take on players and do what he loves to do best, which is assisting. He has a diverse range of passes, which he can use to change the dynamics of a game. He could decide to pass in behind the opposition defence or switch the attacking play. In his 19 matches for Palace in the 23-24 season, he created 36 chances for them. With Bayern looking to add more dynamism to their game, Olise is definitely going to be a great signing for Bayern. His ability to create and operate both in the central and right wing will make him combine very well with lethal goalscorer Harry Kane or any other striker Bayern decide to sign. Apart from assists, of course, Olise is another quality player who's capable of scoring and will be an added goal threat for Bayern. So Olise raises Bayern's game to another level and then out to be a huge signing for them. Will Olise be the man to return Bayern to their Bundesliga dominance